Brethren, be ye steadfast, unmovable, always abounding in the work of the Lord, for as much as you know that your labor is not in vain in the Lord. Okay? So your labor ain't in vain. Because it said in Hebrews, and I'm quoting a lot of scriptures, said in Hebrews, there remaineth therefore rest. What is that rest? The kingdom. That's when we're going to be able to rest. We're going to be on top. Alright? And we're going to be made free from the hard bondage that we're made to serve. Like it says back in Isaiah. Okay? So that's what our labor is not in vain for. Because the Lord ain't just going to have us doing this and then nothing happened. He's going to give us rewards. It's going to start with, really it's going to start with when all this hell breaks loose. Alright, here in America in particular, when all hell breaks loose, the elect are going to be sealed from that. They're going to be saved. Alright? They're going to be protected. While everybody else bugs out. And then, ultimately, it's the salvation. Alright? The big thing is that's the salvation. When the chariots come and beam up the elect. Just as America's getting destroyed. And then at the end of the whole deal, it's us in the kingdom ruling over everybody on the planet Earth who afflicted us. And that's the so-called white man and all the other nations right behind him. Alright? So that's why our labor is not in vain. Okay? So now let's go to Baruch 4:28. I quoted it earlier. Alright? It says here, Baruch 4 verse 28. For as it was your mind to go astray from the Most High, so being returned, seeking 10 times more. Okay? And hey, it says that in Ephesians the 5th chapter. It says, in fact, let me get that. Because like I said earlier, while you're in this thing, whatever the Most High set you up to do, just give it your all. Alright? And there's actually a scripture I'm going to read at the last. Alright? Just came to my mind. But let me read this. It says here, I'm going to read this and I'm going to read Baruch one more time. Ephesians 5 verse 15. See there that you walk circumspectly, not as fools, but as wise, redeeming the time, because the days are evil. What does it mean redeeming? Buying back. What are we buying back? The time that we lost not being in this truth. Alright? Because me personally, I've only been in this truth, what? It'll be 4 years. If we make it to the end of this year, it'll be 4 years. Alright? That's by far not a majority of my life. Okay? So you got to do what you can to buy back all that time that was lost. Alright? That's why it says here in Baruch 4:28, for as it was your mind to go astray from the Most High, so being returned, meaning you're into this truth, you're back into your right mind, seek him 10 times more. Alright, so we got to put in that much more work. That much more, there's got to be that much more work, that much more meditating on the Bible, that much more whatever the Most High called you to do. Alright, that much more reading, you know. Like I said though, don't burn yourself out. Put it like that. Don't burn yourself out, because that is possible. Okay? Like I said, it says that in Proverbs the 25th chapter. Alright? So now, let's go. In fact, before we go back to Luke, let's go to Sirach. I believe it's 43. Sirach 43 and 29. I'm going to read through 30. It says, the Lord is terrible and very great and marvelous in his power. When you glorify the Lord, exalt him as much as you can. That's the key. Back up what I was saying earlier. Exalt him as much as you can. Alright? One brother may not be able to exalt the Lord as much as the next brother, but if that brother is exalting the Lord as much as he can, that's alright. Alright? One brother may know more than the next brother. Alright? One brother may be able to go out every Saturday. One brother, it might not be afforded him to go out every Saturday. Maybe that brother goes out on Sunday. You know, we all got different situations. You know? Whatever you do, exalt the Lord as much as you can, whether it be doing the work, whether it be in your daily life. Okay? It says, when you glorify the Lord, exalt him as much as you can, for even yet will he far exceed, and when ye exalt him, put forth all your strength, and be not weary, for you can never go far enough. Okay? So you got to exalt the Lord. And like I said, it could be doing the work in your daily life, in the brotherhood, all those. Okay? So now, but like I said, mainly the whole premise of this lesson is doing the work to get all the elect sealed. Okay? Being stewards of the gospel. Okay? That's the main thing. It said in 1 Corinthians 14:1 that you got to prophesy. That's the main thing, to prophesy. We got to keep pushing these prophecies. And we got to break down the prophecies in this book to the people. Okay? The people that are out there who haven't been sealed yet, of the elect. Because they're still out there. Because we're still in this hell. We're still in this kingdom. Alright? So we still got work to do. Okay? So now let's go to Luke 19. Go back to Luke 19 and read from where we left off. It says here, verse 14. And this is going to further back up what I was just saying a minute ago. It says, verse 14, Luke 19:14, but his citizens hated him and sent a message after him, saying, we will not have this man to reign over us. And it came to pass, when he was returned, having received the kingdom, then he commanded these servants to whom to be called unto him, to whom he had given the money, that he might know how much every man had given and gained by trading. Then came the first, saying, Lord, thy pound hath gained 10 pounds. And he said unto him, well, thou good servant, because thou hast been faithful in the very little, thou hast authority over 10 cities. Excuse me. And the second came, saying, Lord, thy pound has gained 5 pounds. And he said likewise to him, because be thou over 5 cities. So that second person didn't do as much as the first. He only had 5 pounds. But guess what? Guarantee you he did that to the best of his ability. Alright? So he got authority over 5 cities. The first man got authority over 10. But it says here, what about the next servant? Verse 20. And another came, saying, Lord, behold, here is thy pound which I have kept laid up in a napkin. For I feared thee, because thou art an austere man. Thou takest up that thou layest not down, and thou reapest that thou did not sow. And he said unto him, out of thine own mouth will I judge thee, thou wicked servant. Thou knowest that I was an austere man, taking up that I laid not down, and reaping that I did not sow. Wherefore then gavest thou not my money unto the bank, that at my coming I might have inquired mine own with usury? And he said unto him that stood by thee, take from him the pound, and give it to him that had 10 pounds. And they said unto him, Lord, he had 10 pounds. For I say unto you, that unto every one which hath shall be given, and from him that hath not, even that he hath shall be taken away from him. So if you don't do this work, alright, if you think you're just going to sit down and not do anything before the end comes, then when the time comes, you're not going to get that reward. Because the scripture says, we read in 1 Corinthians 15:58, that your labor is not in vain. Okay? So those who labor are going to get a reward. But if you're not laboring, then you're not going to get nothing. Like the scripture says, you don't work, you don't eat. Alright? It says here, for I say unto you, that every one which hath shall be given, and from him that hath not, even that he hath, shall be taken away from him. But those mine enemies which would not that I should reign over him, bring hither and slay them before me. And if you're not doing the work, then you don't want the end to come, and ultimately you despise dominion, and you don't want the Lord ruling. So guess what? When the time comes, you're going to be slayed, you're going to be killed, you're going to be destroyed. Okay? Because you weren't doing nothing. Alright? And like I've been saying, like I said earlier, there's all types of ways you can do the work. Okay? And do what you have been gifted to do, like the parable of the talents. Whatever the Lord has gifted you to do it. Alright? And Lord willing, you'll get a reward. Okay? Now let's go to Sirach 11. And then that's pretty much the last scripture. Sirach, the 11th chapter, about 18th verse. Alright? Because you gotta, the work don't end, the work doesn't end basically until this kingdom ends. That's it. Really, it don't end until this whole society spirals into chaos. Alright? When the Lord basically